guys, welcome to Evening with Gelda program. I'm pleased to receive today such a beautiful and talented poetess. She is Reshma Sabrina Sewpath. Reshma comes from the fauna and flora capital of the world that boasts a rainbow country, South Africa. Educated with only high school pass, she proved the theory that education is indoctrination. Pushing herself to limits, she writes 22 books in 14 months. There are in all genres. Her love for writing words comes from her ardent passion of reading. She is a motivational speaker as well as a promoter of kids eager to join the literary world. Her motto is excellence comes with passion and hard work. While living in South Africa, she is ethnically Indian. Her aim is to finish 100 books in the next 5 years. Wow! It's a great goal indeed. If you want, you can, dearest. Okay, dear Reshma, please come in to start our interview. Dear poetess, when did poetry become part of your life?
Hello to the wonderful family of Pen Wonders International. I would like to say thank you so much to the wonderful Gelda Castro for giving me this awesome opportunity. I take this opportunity of thanking Pramod Sir, Saroja Ma'am, Loy Monroe, and Sarala Ma'am. Without further ado, poetry became a part of my life a long time ago. It's actually quite a sad thing. I am a widow, and when my late husband was very ill, I started writing for him, but I didn't take too much of pride in it as such. But I did stop after he passed on. I did stop writing up until last year during the lockdown. My writing partner, she encouraged me to start writing again. And that's when I really got into it. Well, I never even knew I was a poet until I started getting all the accolades.
Which poets did influence you to love poetry?
Poetry, I've appreciated many people. Shakespeare is my number one. I'm also a great fan of Khalil Gibran. But there was one South African poet, Sipho Sapamla, that actually grabbed my attention, I would say.
Which poetic styles do you like the most?
Poetic styles, I am just absolutely extremely bad at it. But I must say I excel in freestyle. I love freestyle. But give me an opportunity. Ask me to do something. I try. We can only try and do our best. And that is exactly what I do. I give it a shot. And sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. But who cares? Because we write for the love of the passion that we feel.
Which poet do you consider the best of all times?
Which poet do I consider the best of all times? That is very, very difficult to say. But let me go with Shakespeare because he's the master of the sonnet.
Talking about poetry and literature, have you got all what you have dreamed?
Yes, actually, to be honest with you, talking about poetry and literature, I've actually got what I was looking for because from the time I was in high school, I actually wanted to be a writer because I was encouraged by my English teacher. And obviously, as everyone knows my story, I never even made it to 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 a tertiary institution, but I have proven beyond doubt that if you put your mind onto something, you can actually do it. And yes, I have achieved, even though I haven't received fame or recognition, but I have actually written 22 books in 14 months. And that is an accomplishment for me because I feel very proud when when I go onto the Amazon site and I see my workers there, and also my paperbacks. I will tell you, when they arrive from America, I look at them like about 10 times a day. It's my pride. I write for my joy, and I love that. I love what I've accomplished. And also I want to make it known that I don't listen much to critics, because if I had to listen to every wannabe critic, I wouldn't have accomplished what I've accomplished.
Do you believe that poetry can reveal the soul of a poet?
Uh, of course, a poem can definitely reveal the soul of a poet. Like I said, I wrote for my husband, and I spoke about my pain, and it was so intense for me that I could not even carry on until 26 years later I got back into it. But yes, it just a poet's work is actually reflected upon their soul and their emotions. A poet's work is actually reflected upon their soul and their emotions.
Reshma, what advice would you like to give to someone starting in the field of poetry?
Oh, good Lord. The thing is, what I can say is do your best, be your best, and write from your heart. And don't ever be despondent by what a critic says to you, because it's your work, it's your joy, it's your personal accomplishment.
Where do you usually seek for inspiration to writing?
My inspiration, I am so blessed. I come from a town that's so quiet, peaceful. We're surrounded by mountains, and that's exactly where I get my inspiration. And I must tell you, my first book was written in my car. I love writing in my car. I sit in the sunshine, I admire the view, and I just love it. It's my go-to place. I love sitting in my car. Even now, I'm doing this from my car.
If you don't mind, can you recite a poem of yours to our public now?
And yes, of course, definitely. I definitely want to recite a poem of mine. I'm not actually sure as yet which one. Okay, there's it. I have found a poem. I'm especially proud of this one because it was actually a prompt with a staircase, and I decided to go fantastical on it. And I like going out of the box. So I wrote this not for prize or for certificate. I wrote this for my personal thing because it just grabbed me that imagination was alive, and that's why I did it. So there we go. It's called The Magician's Wand. And if anyone knows me, they know I always start with a quote. So there's my quote. Fantasy is the ignition that accelerates the imagination of a productive mind. Here now is my poem. Good fortune found a tiding of gracing measures to my humble door. Without a paltry hesitation of sweeping, welcome bowed to no suffocation. Electrifying in the robes of an enchanted myth, my wish to elope into my past was granted. Oh my, I beg to differ, that the path of a written word became a fantastical reality. I heralded the title of a queen, and that to one of proportionate quality, doting vehemence of arrogance. Answering to Cleopatra, I was the allegory of an ultimate angelic beauty. I claim it was the billowing of my bath, drenched with only milk, that preserved my beauty. So elegant in structure, I spared no expense to affording the luxury of pride. Sunken to the ground, to be hidden and sized only for my utilization, I breathed the name of Cleopatra as I bathed the luxury of milky silk. Dare no fool to watch my elegance, all except the glorious of Mark Antony. I have eyes just for this perfection of steamy bath as sunlight pours in. My body gleams cream of magnificent, stigmatic allure sensations. I revere to the essence of my beauty, and I await the timings of relaxation. I lay afloat to this atomic pleasure of brilliance, and I count no minutes to jolt back. I lay afloat. Then, with confrontation, the fool of Caesar dares to plunge beside me. Before long I lay his corpse to rest. The turning point has no return, for the wizard is exiled to the sandy dunes of the desert. I remain in this ancient backdrop of yester-century for the enthrallment of my beauty and my bath. I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And once again, Gelda Castro, I just want to tell you how much I love Pen Wonders International. I have so much of respect for Pramod sir and his entire team. You'll have to have one of the most humblest groups that I've ever come across. And I thank you so much once again for this opportunity. Bye-bye.
Wow, excellent. Dear poetess, it was a great pleasure to have you today among us. I'm immensely grateful for your brilliant presence. And you guys, hope to meet you on the next Sunday, okay? Bye-bye.